for anyone that doesn't know, you're Brian Weems, and you're currently the coach of Rio Grande High School. Before that, you coached at Belen. You played high school soccer at Sandia Prep, and then you went on to play at UNLV, and then you went on and played at arena football as a kicker, which I like to bring up just because that's an interesting point. But let's start at just to give people a little bit more color to your background. Why'd you fall in love with soccer? Just starting out, like how'd you get into soccer when you were a kid?
So I started playing when I was 5, AYSO. Let's see, 1984. Gosh, I'm almost 45. And then I just started, I just fell in love with it. And then from there, club soccer, when I played for United 79, and then played for Rio, and then just kept playing. And, my parents were really, really helpful and keeping me playing and giving me the resources available to me to keep playing. And ended up being successful at the high school level. And then I just played at college, and I just fell in love with it. And then once I got my degree, I wanted to get into coaching. And I knew to be a coach, you needed to be a teacher. So I got my master's in education and just fell in love with coaching right away. So I started coaching at Belen in 2007, did that for 5 years, and then moved on to Sandia for 5 years. Another passion of mine was being an athletic director, so I did that for 6 years, and I couldn't stay away. So after 6 years at Sandia, I saw the job at Rio Grande open up, and I knew it was for me, and I love teaching and I love coaching, and it's one of those things where it gives me so much joy from kids to do well, to be successful, to win games, to do well in school. And that just gives me so much joy, because I told myself if I was ever a high school coach, I wanted to give them that kind of joy. And that's what gives me joy personally. That's why I just fell in love with coaching, and the game itself, soccer, is just, man, you either love it or you hate it. It's such a passionate sport. It's one of those things where you can totally outplay a team and lose. I've never been a part of a sport where it's like that. And so, it keeps me motivated in life. It keeps me going. I just love the camaraderie with the kids, and I just love seeing their passion and their passion to win. And so, that's a small version of why I do what I do, but it's just fun. It's a lot of fun.
What is your underlying philosophy when it comes to, okay, I just got this job at a school, are you changing players' hearts first? Are you kind of calming the waters with your athletic director? What do you go in thinking?
Well, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's go to Rio Grande. So getting to know the players personally is the first thing I do. I believe that it's a personal relationship that a player has with the coach that allows the player to relax, to feel like they need, to be successful, to feel like they can, come to me and talk to me about anything, because it's such a mental sport, especially at the high school level when they're adolescents. The kids want to have, they want to understand that you are there for them from the beginning. Getting to know players is the number one thing for me. Each and every player. I mean, talking about individually, that's huge for me. They become, and I become to them, and they become to me like a second family. I always talked about that, where they feel that when they come on the soccer field, that they're relaxed, they have a good environment to play in, they're around friends, they're around family, and I try to create that environment. That's the first thing I do, is try to create a positive environment for learning. So that's really what it comes down to. So when I got to Rio Grande this summer, for two months, I wanted to get to know the players on educational level, on a personal level, soccer field level, and then you go from there. And then it just kind of just creates another environment. So once you get into a season, you just want to create not just playing soccer, like I'm going to be a commuter, go to practice and then go home and then that's it. I want to create a program where, we run sand dunes, we go play miniature golf, we go to the movies together, we go bowling, we spend time together like a family would. And so when you get to know the players and they get to know you, and you understand that it's more than just a game. It's more than just high school, about winning and losing. Yeah. I feel like the players really start to respect, you and they understand that you're not just here for just to wins and losses as a coach. You're here because you care about them. You want them to do well when they're in college, when they're in their professional lives. Yeah. So I think really it comes down to personal relationships. That's where it really starts. And like I said, it just kind of goes from there.
So that sense of like community, that sense of like camaraderie, the sense of autonomy from the players, I think is a really key thing that went well from all your programs altogether.
I think you hit nail on the head. I mean, the autonomy part's huge, and especially on the field. So you're right about restrictions. A lot of coaches like to restrict players, and I said no, especially in the final third. I mean, my forwards, take them on one-on-one. Sure. Outside wings, one-on-one. I want them to be able to take players on when they need to take players on. Yeah. Give them that sense of freedom, just to play. Just to play, have fun, play, and positivity. Mm-hmm. I think a good coach, to be honest, is hard when they need to be, and they are, they're positive when they need to be. To find that happy medium is the $1 million coach right there. Is the fact that if you can do both, if you can go, okay, I'm going to be hard on you, but that player will know that that you love them. They will not get mad in return. They'll be like, okay, coach, I got you. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Like I can be so hard on a player, but they know that I'm only doing it to make them better. Yeah. That's when I think that a player feels comfortable in their environment, and that will play better if they know that you care about them underneath all that yelling and screaming and, hey, do this better. Yeah. That's when I think that a player will succeed. You
have been a coach for a long time, and you have been a father for a shorter amount of time. But how has both of those roles influenced the other over the years?
Oh, great question. So when my son was born, I was the athletic director at Sandia. Okay. So for 6 years, growing up was challenging because being an athletic director at a high school is very time consuming. So that's, to be honest, one of the main reasons why I went back to coaching was because my wife says it perfectly. She goes, well, if you go back to coaching, you'll be gone for 3 months, not 9 months. So that worked out really, really well. Yeah. He's a main reason why, the biggest reason, and my wife as well, both of them, the reason why I went back to coaching is because I wanted to spend more time with him. I wanted to go to his games. He's starting to play now, so I wanted to go to his games. So, an appreciation, really, appreciation for life, appreciation for kids, appreciation for everything. Being a father, and just understanding that life is a gift, and just don't sweat the small stuff. Be positive as much as possible. Try to influence people positively as much as possible. Try to give them the tools to succeed. Try to give my son the tools to succeed in life. And just spend time with them. Yeah. So when my wife said the 3 months, she understood that when I do something, I do it full on. Yeah. So when I say full on, I'm always with those high school kids. Yeah. During the day, looking at their grades, after school practices, texting at night, making sure they're okay, making sure they need this, they need that. Yeah. Always around them for that season. And then of course I'm with them in the off season too, with the soccer class and everything else, checking up on them, especially their academics. But spending that time with them is important, really important. If you're going to do something, do it 100%. Be fully invested in what you do. Sure. Whether the end result, the wins and losses, are successful or not, I believe that being successful is not just about that. It's about raising the good people, like raising you and making sure that you're doing well in society and giving you the right tools. And so, being a father is really like kind of made me realize a lot of different things about making that even more important in their lives. Yeah. So just one has to do with the other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of similarities when it comes to parenting. I'm not a parent yet, but I'm within the near future. And I think that when it comes to trying to achieve common goals, when it comes to, I wouldn't say discipline necessarily, but definitely, try to get someone back on the right track. Mm-hmm. Along the lines of communication, being a coach and a parent, I think is, to be honest, very theatrical at times, where you have to put on a face when you don't want to. You have to act a certain way when you don't want to. And so there's a lot that comes in with that is important for both roles. And I think that as soon as I do have a child of my own, that it's going to be like, Coach Jason is going to be out there a lot when it comes to being a parent. Mm-hmm. And then, kind of like you said, as you become, when I will become a parent, I think that the experience of coaching and training other people is going to be enriched more. That's right. By that experience, and just understanding, the preciousness of life, how little time we have with people, and how much influence that we do have, and how far-reaching that is. But
you said a great word, discipline. It's so true. Keeping these kids accountable is huge. Mm-hmm. Always on top of them. Being at the school as a teacher has really helped. So I can make sure their grades are good, make sure they're doing the right things in school, make sure they're doing the right things in life and social media and on the field. And so, that helps me with my son too, to make sure that he's disciplined. So you hit it again, that's such a strong word, and it will help you as a father to be able to discipline. And it's so true, because the kids do need discipline. Yeah. They understand that, soccer, especially at the high school level, is a privilege. So you have to be disciplined, especially in academics.
You guys made it to, you were the 11th seed in state, second in district, with exciting games against great teams. And, it was all in all a good season. What are you looking forward to this year?
So just to do better. Do better at everything. Academically, make sure all the kids are eligible. Make sure that they're even more fit than we were this past season. Mm-hmm. Starting in June, right after their club season, we go hard. Yeah. Just getting better and better and better. We had some good quality wins, like you said. We tied Hope. That was a tie in high school soccer against a good team like that was phenomenal for those kids to do that. And they went to 2 double overtime games that week with Albuquerque High. They've only tied Albuquerque High once in the past 10 years. So I was hoping we would win that game, but we didn't. But that's a good step forward. Mm-hmm. It's a good step forward to tie Hope, because they lost to Hope last year 2-0. Yeah. To beat Santa Fe twice, and they only beat them once last year. And the players kept telling me if they would have beat Santa Fe twice last year, they would have went to state. But they didn't. But we did it this year. We beat them in overtime at their place to go to state. That was a phenomenal victory, and because against a phenomenal, well-coached team with great players. So that was fun. To get 13 wins in high school was challenging, but it was really, really rewarding. Yeah. So just to propel from that, I started 4 freshmen this past year. I've never started that many freshmen on a team before, and we only had 3 seniors. So, knock on wood, our grades are good. Everyone coming back healthy and in shape, and hopefully just go from there and go to the next round. That's our goal, and to win district. Just to get better and better every year. Yeah. That's what I always want my teams to do. Get better and better every year. Yeah. It's soccer, so there's always highs and lows. You never know who's going to win those games, but be prepared is mostly is me mentally, the kids mentally and physically. That's what I want them to be ready to go for the next season. Because I was looking at the history books as well in Rio Grande. They've never gotten to the next round. They had that World Cup format in 2006-07. And they did pretty well, but they lost to Sandy and PKs in that World Cup format. So technically, they've never gotten to the next round. Yeah. So that's my next goal, is to get these kids to the next round of state, to get to the quarterfinal phase, so they understand, what it takes to be a top team in the state. Yeah. And I think we'll get there. I really do. Like I said, we have a young team coming back, so I think everyone's motivated and understands and has that state experience that will help them prepare them to the next phase.